What's up guys, hello and welcome back to another video. Today what we're going to be doing is a question that you've been asking me quite a lot, and that is, what is the best skate shoe? As you can see, I've got an array of different types of skate shoes right here. I've got some platform shoes that I've always wondered if you could skate in. Never tried them before this video, so we're going to find that out for sure. We've got some BMX shoes, some slip-ons, some regular Vans, Lakais, some big boys, some small boys, and even some Lidl shoes. Now, if you're not from Europe, you probably don't know what Lidl is, but it's basically a supermarket that released their own trainer. Either way, we've got a whole bunch of different shoes. We're probably going to talk for about a minute on each one, as to not dawdle too much. And also, this isn't going to be a super scientific, these stitches mean this and this means this. This is going to be a simple, I've skated these, this is how they felt, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, and then we're moving on to the next shoe. There's a ton of scientific shoe reviews out there, and this is not one of them. So if you want to find out what works for me, stick around. All right, so the one that we're going to start with is these Vans right here. Now, these are some Vans that I bought a while ago. I haven't really skated them, but I've skated plenty of Vans exactly like this. So I know what to look for and what to avoid. Basically, when it comes to skating in Vans, I'll tell you what, I'll put them all on as well. So we'll do like a drip test as we go through. Excuse the cringe, but let me put these on right here. Let's see if they even still fit. Oh, that's a tight squeeze. The thing is with Vans, I feel like whenever you buy them, whatever size you are, you either want to go half a size bigger. So if you're a 9, go for a 9.5, or you just want to relace the entire thing, because they always seem to be super tight around like this section here. Let me put these on. These are a size 9. I am also a size 9, so it's a bit of a tight squeeze. But yeah, Vans definitely go for half a size bigger, at least in my personal experience. Right, so these are the Elijah berle, or berle, however you might pronounce that. Forgive me, I've not heard it said in real life before. These are pretty nice for skating. I do enjoy Vans, don't get me wrong. They have some good shoes, and if I was to have to buy like some shoes in an emergency and I didn't have much of an option, Vans are obviously the most readily available. But here's the thing, right? Inside the shoe is what matters. You can get all different kinds of Vans, but the ones that you really want to go for are the ones with the pop cush insole. Now, I'll put some B-roll on screen of what the insole looks like, but basically it's just a super soft insole that makes skateboarding a million times easier. Like, it just makes tricks so much more. Oh my God, that was horrible. It just makes tricks feel so much better, to be honest with you. But yeah, these ones are actually super nice, but I will show you, like, if they don't have the pop cush insole, I'm gonna flip these off right now because we're gonna move on to the second shoe in just a minute. But look, right here, look, pop cush insole. That is the #1 thing. If you're gonna be skating in these shoes, the #1 thing. Do not ever buy Vans without that insole, because they will tear apart the inside of your feet. Like, you'll get horrible heel blisters, like, especially if you're walking lows. Like, my friend bought some of these without the pop cush insole in Barcelona, and by the end of it, his foot was red raw because it just does not work well for skateboarding. So pop cush insole is a guarantee. Other than that, I'd say it doesn't matter too much about what model you get. I personally enjoy all of them, but yeah, these Vans ones are pretty damn good. I'd give these like a 7.5, 8 out of 10. Let's move on to the next shoe. Okay, now moving on from those, we have the leathery shoes. I don't know about these ones. I do enjoy skating them, and I definitely enjoy like wearing them just to cruise around in. Like, if you're just having a pair of shoes that you're not going to skate in too much, but you could do if you needed to. Or if you got a black version, they would make good work shoes. For example, if you work at a restaurant or something. But I really enjoy Lakais. Lakais are, disclaimer, they are my shoe sponsor, but they are by far my favorite skate shoes out there. There are a few that I think compare. Like, I really do like, and this is going to be blasphemous to say, but I really do like Nike SB. They have some really good ones, especially the E-Shods. I really like those. But I would say Lakai just about edged the victory over those. But the leather ones, they don't skate as good as something like the regular material-based ones, like the Vans were, and like the second pair of Lakais that we're going to get into in a bit. They do feel a bit stiff when you first get them, and they take a little while to break in, but you can slip them on, slip them off super nicely. And they are semi-resistant at like flip tricks and stuff. They're not the best for flip tricks. As you can see here, a few heel flips took off that side bit there. But other than that, I would say they're pretty damn good. But if you were to go for my favorite type of Lakai shoes, you'd go for the next ones on this list. So these ones are the ones I pull up to the skate park in today. I always wear this type of shoe. This is the Cambridge, I believe. There are so many similar models of Lakai. So these are like a suede based shoe and it lasts so much longer. I don't know if you guys have ever skated a canvas shoe. I'll put a picture on screen of mine now. I skated the ones on screen for literally 3 days and that's what they look like. They ripped into the shoe, they ripped into my sock and they were cutting my foot because I'd gone through the material so quickly. But these ones, as someone who does a lot of flip tricks, last me quite a while. So I'd highly recommend these if you're into a lot of flip tricks. If you just skate bowls and chill and stuff, obviously they're going to be great too. They're going to last you forever. But for flip tricks especially, these ones are great. Now I'm going to put a bunch of the skating of me wearing each shoe over the top of me talking as we go through the videos. I'm sure you've seen already. But yeah, these are some of the best ones in my opinion, if not my favorite skate shoe of all time at the minute. Back in the day, I didn't actually really like these shoes that much when I was skating like thicker shoes like Nike Dunks or the other Lakais we've got on this list. But after a while of actually skating these full time, the board feel that you get with these is just second to none. Like obviously the board feel in the other Vans and Lakais are great too, but these ones are so good. Like if you're someone that loves to feel exactly where their feet are on the board at all times, then these are the shoes for you. But on the other side of that, they are a tad more flimsy than like the thicker shoes like the Dunks. So if you're doing big stair sets, you might prefer a thicker shoe. If you're doing more technical tricks and just skating around the park, you probably prefer something like this. But I'd give these a solid 9 out of 10. So next we've got our first jokey pair on the list, and don't get me wrong, I wouldn't have put these in the list if I didn't think at least some people would be trying to skate similar shoes in this. Obviously you see kids that don't really know much about skateboarding, which is what this video is for. They skate in these trainers or like running shoes, they would be called in America maybe. Basically, they are just like in my opinion, the dumbest looking shoes of all time. Now, I'm sure a few of you will be like, oh, they're in trend, oh, they're this, they're that, they're comfortable. Fair enough if they're comfortable and you don't care about style, right? But if you care anything about how you look, these are not the ones for you. Whether it be Lidl, whether it be Nike, whether it be anything other than that, these shoes still suck. Just the way they look, the material that they're made of, how they feel, like the board feel to be fair isn't too bad. Would you sacrifice 5% better board feel than a shit shoe to look this bad? I don't think so. Like personally, I would never wear these for skating, especially not if I was trying to be taken seriously, you know? But yeah, this kind of shoe is pretty tragic. Probably gonna be most common around like kids that don't have another option to skate in, which fair enough, right? If you've just bought your first skateboard like a couple days ago and you wanna find out if you like it, you're not sure if you fully wanna commit to it yet, then sure. Wear your old running shoes that you don't have, that's totally fine. But if you're actually wanting to be getting serious at skateboarding and you want to learn something and have some good foot protection, these are not the ones that you want to wear, for sure. Obviously you can skate in them, but if you were to do 100 kickflips in these, then they would not last long in the slightest. I mean, like, I literally just ripped them off that one kickflip. Look at that wear and tear off that one kickflip. Can you see that? It's so discolored compared to the other one. But that's one kickflip worth of damage. Imagine if you were skating them full time. These ones get 2 out of 10 Tonys. Okay, next up we've got 2 pairs in one section. Now, these are the Lakai Telefords and these are the Nike SB Dunks. Now, I'm sure you guys all know what Nike SB Dunks are. These are some of the most expensive, but they're fairly decent skate shoes, but for the price, I wouldn't say they were the best value for money. While I have skated a few pair of Dunks, I do enjoy them, and if you're into fashion, you can partner them with almost any outfit if you can find the right style of Dunks. So I do enjoy those, but these are a much cheaper and better option in my opinion. Like Lakai are a skater-owned brand. They support people like me and many other skaters that you guys follow. And the shoe quality is the same, if not better. Obviously they don't have as diverse a range of styles. So if you're willing to give up a tiny bit of diversity for more comfort and what's the word, pride for the skate scene, because if people see you wearing these versus these, the core skaters are going to rate you a lot more for wearing something like this. Now don't get me wrong, a lot of core skaters are wearing shoes like this, and there is a reason why. Like, these are great for skating in, they resist flip tricks so much. Like, you can skate in these and do many flip tricks and you barely see a hole for ages. Obviously same with the Telefords. I would say these are a very similar like silhouette. You get a bit more cushion and comfort around the heel with the Dunks, which you obviously do get here, but it's not quite as thick. But to be honest, the difference, it really is negligible. And I just personally think that these look better. And don't get me wrong, These are also like over £100, like sometimes over $100. Those ones I think specifically were £130. These ones were £80, so almost half the price. You could get 2 pairs of those for a pair of those, and that is enough to put me into the Lakai ball pit forever. The good thing about shoes like this though, is that when you're doing stair sets, they have got a nice thick sole, so that when you land, the impact is absorbed a lot better. Same with those. And also, one sacrifice you have to make to have that extra bit of resistance though, is that when you're skating on the board, you can't quite feel the grooves and bumps and lumps like you would be able to for one of the thinner shoes like the Cambridge that we covered a few shoes ago. So you get a slight bit more protection, but you sacrifice a bit of the board feel of knowing exactly where your feet are at the exact time you're about to pop a trick. So you might need to look down at the board a little bit more, but if you're doing big stair sets and stuff, you've already mastered the trick. You just need something that's going to withstand that impact, and those are very much going to do that. 8.5 out of 10, 8 out of 10. On to the next ones. Alright, so next you got the slip-ons. I can't put these ones on because these are Hollies. The only one pair of slip-ons I had were the berle ones, and we ain't putting those in the video. So we've got these right here, and basically slip-ons are like the exact opposite of what we have on the Dunks and the Telefords that we just covered, right? So the slip-ons, basically, as long as they have the pop cushion insole, if they're Vans, obviously you're gonna want that for any type of Vans shoe, then great. But they give you the maximum board feel, so like having your feet on the board and being able to tell exactly where your feet are at all times, and being able to figure out where the concave is and all this, that, and the other. That is what these are perfect for. If you like board feel and you want to be able to feel every flip trick and every part of the board to make sure that your flips and your spins are on point, these are by far the best type of shoes. Personally, I would go for a Lakai slip-on, obviously. But Vans are also pretty good, and there's a bunch of other slip-on shoes that you can get, like the Nike SB slip-ons, the Tissue Buffonis, they're also really good, and the Janoski slip-ons are pretty nice too. But yeah, you get the maximum board feel, but when you're doing stair sets and stuff, let's say if you land primo, this is why I originally didn't like shoes this thin, because if you land primo, sometimes you can fold a bit, or the shoe can like wrap around the board, and you might not have the structure required to withstand such a heavy impact in primo, and it does hurt your feet a bit more. If you're doing big stair sets, you might be slightly more likely to get like a heel bruise or something like that when you're skating something like this, as opposed to a thicker soled pair of Dunks or Telefords. But obviously with those, you sacrifice the board feel for resistance. For these ones, you sacrifice the resistance for board feel, and the Cambridges that we covered earlier in the video are the perfect in between of the two. But personally, I do like slip-ons, I do like Cambridges. I'd probably rate the Cambridges as my favorite, the slip-ons as my second favorite, and the thicker sole Dunk / Telefords as my third favorite. So these will get a solid 8.5 out of 10.
On my birthday, so I was like, why don't we just go to soft play?
Okay, so we've got 3 pairs of shoes left. I'm gonna go with these first, and I'm gonna have to put these on, right? These are BMX shoes, because I bought these thinking, oh, BMX shoes for skateboarding, how bad can it really be, right? And the only memory I've got of these is when I first put them on about a year ago or so, and I remember thinking, rah, these are awful. I remember thinking, rah, buv, these are awful. But yeah, I don't really know how to explain it. I just felt like these shoes, the structure that they are, while I probably could skate them fine now, I just feel like they aren't really what you want them to be for a skate shoe. And obviously they're a BMX shoe. Webz, you're a fucking idiot. Obviously they're not going to be perfect for skateboarding, right? And you would be right, little Jimmy. But I obviously had to try them. Like BMX shoes for skateboarding, you could probably make do. Like if you weren't used to like some of your favorite shoes, like for me, I'm so particular about what kind of shoe I use, what kind of board, wheels, trucks, everything about my skateboard is like engineered to be perfect for me. So when even the slightest thing is off, then it really throws me off my game. So like these shoes to me are personally just not it. But I can see why some people wouldn't mind skating like a BMX shoe if that's all they had. But if I was to get down to like the nitty gritty of it, to be honest with you, if we take a look at the shoe, the only real difference is like this section here, this like rubbery section. I think it makes the shoe slightly more rigid all the way around as well. Like this back bit here is super reinforced. Like if you feel that, like that back bit is solid. I think obviously that might be like for resisting the pedals hitting you somewhere or something like that. But yeah, the back bit of it, and obviously it has got the pop cushion sole, but just the shoe in general, like the structure of it and the, if the rigidity of the shoe right here is super hard and tough, it just makes skateboarding a little bit less flexible, and I don't like that. I like my shoe to be as flexible as possible, but also have a little bit of protection, whereas I think these are pretty much all protection. As with the BMX, I don't think you need the board feel, obviously, because you've only got your feet on the pedals, and you're going to know where your foot is on the pedals pretty much instinctively as a biker, I would assume. I'm not a BMXer, maybe I just said a bunch of stuff that made you all cringe in your graves, but that's where you belong, in your graves. So these shoes, for me, 5.5 out of 10. Alright, so before we get into the final pair with my first impressions on the platform shoes, we're going to go into these. Now, these are the Vans Treks. They're supposedly meant for boating and stuff, but I did find them in the skateboarding section. So we're going to put them on, and I've actually done quite a few tricks in these. I think I did a short recently where I did like a double kickflip, tray flip and all that in these. So obviously I'll put the skate session footage over the top of it while I'm speaking right now. But yeah, these I think predominantly are not meant to be worn with socks, and they're also meant for like the water sports, maybe even on a surfboard. I don't know, do you wear shoes on a surfboard? I've never surfed before, but yeah, I don't think you do. But yeah, I wouldn't expect you to, but maybe these are the ones that you can wear. But either way, these ones personally, obviously not meant for skateboarding. I just thought they were unique. So if you saw these in the shop and you were like, oh, I'll try those for skating, because bear in mind, they do have the same silhouette as like a Vans slip-on shoe. Obviously no insole whatsoever, let alone a pop cush. These ones are not really for skateboarding, but for a bit of fun, I thought I'd chuck them in the video anyway. And they're also pretty much all rubber, like look at this.
Oh, the sound that made.
They're just all rubber, look how bouncy they are. But yeah, overall, these 0 out of 10 Tonys, because they're not for skateboarding. If you were going to be sailing into the sunset, they'd probably work for you. Okay, our final pair of shoes of the video, the ones that I've actually been most looking forward to be honest. These are the Vans, I don't know what they're called actually, the Wavies maybe? I don't know, Vans platforms. These ones have a weird insole in them, like a super like squishy, foamy insole. Comfy cush with ascended pop cush. We've officially leveled up. So let's put these bad boys on, and I'm actually curious. I've always wondered myself, right, can you skate in platform shoes, or does it make the board unfeelable? And I've always thought this myself. I looked online like a couple of weeks ago and saw there was no video on YouTube of people trying these shoes out. So I thought, fuck it, there's probably a bunch of you guys that actually want to find out if you've got platform shoes or whatever, you want to know if you can skate in them. So that's what we're going to find out. Christ. That was a squeeze. I've just gone from 6 foot to 6'2", which I mean, yeah.
They don't look too bad on you, you know. They look alright.
They don't feel too bad. I don't feel any taller. Like, come stand next to me, babes.
Oh my god, you're massive.
I'm massive now.
It's massive now.
Holly's 5'10". So she's almost the same height as me by a couple inches. So yeah, let's see how they actually skate. Oh my god, it feels like I'm wearing moon boots. Jesus. All right, there's one problem that I can see with these actually. Say when I'm jumping, like if I was gonna do a hard flip and it's a trick where I have to jump and the board flips underneath me, having the extra height there might cause the board to hit that when I would normally be used to the board going under my shoe because there's less sole underneath it, you know? So that's a reason why I think they might not be good for like certain tricks, but I would say overall, first impressions, it just feels like I'm walking or skating on clouds. No, I don't think they feel heavier. I think if anything, they're lighter because they, what's the word? They look out, they're trying to compensate for the extra material. But I think overall, they don't feel as bad as I thought they might. Let's hit a kickflip. Okay, now that is where they don't really excel. Like I was trying to feel where my foot was on the tail and I couldn't feel where it was at all, to the point where I actually had to look down and see if my foot was in the right place, which is not a good sign because in skateboarding you want to have as much of your maneuverability happen with muscle memory. So the last thing you want to do is be looking down at the board and checking exactly where your feet are before you do any dangerous tricks, you know? But I'm sure we can land a kickflip. There we go. See, it's still possible, still doable. So if you've already got a pair and you want to try skating in them, go for it. But if you haven't got a pair and you're thinking about getting some specifically for skating in them, I personally wouldn't recommend, because there's obviously going to be a lot better options on the market. All the Lakais are going to be a much better option than these. And these aren't cheap either. Like a good pair of Lakais is like 60 quid. These are like 80. So you're paying for the extra height boost, that's for sure. Overall, I'd give these a 6 out of 10.